All right. All right. So, welcome everyone to one of the sessions of Tech Bytes at the MIT App Inventor. We will be going on for every Tuesday. And yeah, you are in here for a lot of fun, a lot of coding, a lot of user interface, and a lot of jokes, memes, puns, and a great time. So without any further ado, let's get on with the first week of Tech Bytes with MIT App Inventor. Did anyone have a question? I see the chat. Okay. All right. Okay. Dave, I can if you stay after class, I'll help you with that. Let's get started with the session. All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So this is Rayan. He's the other partner that we usually run Tech Bytes with, along with Joe. And he could not come today because he had a orientation with UIC, but he went to CONET as well as myself, and he is in UIC for computer science, incoming freshman at UIC. And hi guys, my name is Labdi, and I am an incoming freshman at UIUC, so University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign for CS. And I, as well as Rayan, we both graduated from CONET High School just this 2-3 weeks ago, and yeah. All right, and what we have been waiting for, the first meme of the summer. Are you guys ready? Drum roll, please. All right, so every group project in CS, there's this one person that does 99% of the work, the other person who has no idea what's going on the whole time, the third person that says that he's going to help, but he's not actually helping, and the fourth person, the most quirky person, disappear at every beginning and doesn't show up again till the very end when the presentation is over. So you guys, I mean, all of us are bound to have this sort of group formation in high school or college. It's just our goal, I guess, or our job to know how to handle these people. But yeah.
You're also missing the one that it takes all the credit for the work.
Ooh,
when you did none of it.
Yeah, definitely missing that. All right, so let me see the chat. Okay, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. I see. All right. Seival, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, but I'll get to the Google Classroom. Just give me like 2 more minutes, and then we'll get everyone situated in the Google Classroom. All right.
Even though he's not here.
So agenda for today, we're gonna start with introduction. So I introduced myself as well as Rayan, and this course or this session actually is not just about the teachers teaching you guys, but it's also about collaboration amongst all of us. So we're gonna have a little like kind of time of introductions. How about you say your name, and since it's summer, say your favorite ice cream flavor. So we'll do that, and then after that, we're gonna do a sort of program overview of Tech Bytes, what each week will look like, as well as what the MIT App Inventor sessions will look like. And then finally, we'll explore the IDE of the MIT App Inventor a little bit and see how to code or how to add different components to our app and run it on our phones. So as I said, we're going to start with introductions. I will start, and then Joe, if you were there.
Yep.
Perfect. Hey. Yeah. So I'll start with my name. My name is Labdi, and my favorite ice cream flavor is coconut almond chocolate chip ice cream from Oberweis.
Ooh, that's a good one. Hey, I'm Joe Marcantonio. I am the team manager at the Schaumburg Library. We are now open, guys. So, and the team place opens at noon, and we're open until 9 o'clock now. Yeah, I'm the team place manager. I oversee the library programs And if you have any questions about library happenings or anything that's going on, please send them to me. And yeah, thanks for coming out. It's great to see a lot of new faces.
Yes, okay, so we got our introductions done. Let me share my screen once more. And then next, let's do a brief program interview, overview. Sorry, no interviews here. All right, so here are the summer programs of Tech Bytes. Here's what we will be doing throughout June and July. And we start with Web Development Bell Day. That's every Monday. And every Monday, we will use JavaScript, HTML, and a little bit of CS to tackle daily problems, so kind of like bell ringer, and solve them using JavaScript and HTML. And this course, or Mondays, will be special for having you guys code those problems as well. You guys won't just be watching Ryan and I code a project or something. All of us are going to be doing that problem, so you guys learn the syntax as well. And then every Tuesday is MIT App Inventor. That's today. We will actually learn to create apps, so applications that you use on your phone. Now we're going to be making Android apps, but if you do have an iPhone, you can test these apps on the iPhone, because MIT App Inventor has this real cool way of testing your app that you coded using a QR code that we will learn later on today. Every Wednesday is web project development. So every Wednesday, we will be using the same coding language as Mondays, so JavaScript mainly, and then HTML and CSS. But we will be creating full-out projects using these three languages. So examples are like Calculator, Hangman, or something like that, where we will be working on the same project over 3 to 4 weeks, and then have a final finished product that we can present at the end. And then finally, video gaming hour. These will be Thursdays, but bi-weekly, so every other week. And video gaming hours is just, you just come and chill with your friends. We'll be playing video games, but before we'll learn like a little bit about the video games and how coding is related. But we'll have a fun time, play those video games, any video games. Usually, Rand and I come up with ideas for them, but everyone is free and welcome to share or suggest any video games that you like and like playing with friends and with a group. So yeah, that's the summer schedule for 2021 Tech Bytes. And just a reminder that all of these sessions will start at 1 p.m. Any questions? If not, then I will go ahead to the next slide. All right, so here's sign up on Google Classroom. This is, I think a lot of us were asking about this. If you go to Google Classroom, just search up Google Classroom on Google, and it's like classroom.google.com, and then just paste in this code, QAF7IBJ. I'll put that in the chat as well, QAF7IBJ. And if you do put that in, you will be invited to a Google Classroom where we post updates and as well as materials. We'll be posting videos for every session that we do, as well as the code that we create, a link to the code that we create. And for those of you who were asking that it doesn't work on D211 accounts or your school accounts, you'll have to sign out of those and then sign into a personal account, whether it's your parents' account or your own account, and then this code should work.
When I put in this code, it says the code looks correct, but your account can't access this class. Switch to the correct account for a classroom or contact your teacher.
Okay, so it may have been because your Chrome is signed into your school account. So even though you signed out of your school account on your browser, your Chrome plugin or something is still signed into your school account. So try signing out all the way from your school account. Here, I can show you what it looks like. And then All right, so if you see over here this I guess light green and white thing, this is my personal email, lobdjane, and probably the reason why you are getting that is because your school account is over here. So you have to sign out of here as well as here. And probably after you do that, it should work. But if it doesn't, stay after class and then I'll show you guys. All right, let me present again. Cool. All right, so no. Okay, back to Google Classroom. So yeah, again, if you guys have any questions, yeah, just either put it in the chat. I won't get to the chat right now because I'm the only one presenting, but I'll get to it towards the end and answer your questions. All right, so what is this program about? MIT App Inventor. As I said, we will be creating apps using a user interface, so adding in buttons, text fields where you can type in text, as well as images. And not only that, but we will be coding that stuff. So if you click on a button, the application will do something. So that'll require code. And the code we'll be using will be block code. Now, that does sound a little bit like childish, but don't worry, block code is not easy at all because it's the logic that goes into coding that's usually the challenging part. And that logic is still there. In fact, a lot of AP classes in high school do still use block code. So yeah. And finally, the cool part about this program is once we do create an app, we can then run that app on our phones. So whether you have an iPhone or a Samsung or an Android, you will be able to run that app and test it on your phone instead of just on the computer. So that's the really cool part about this program. Anyone have a question? Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just either raise your hand or shout them out. All right, so an overview about MIT App Inventor, the IDE that we will be using. So I think there were a couple of questions about this in the chat, and I hope I do answer them right now. So what is MIT App Inventor? It's a website that allows us to create apps. So, I mean, I'll repeat this, but it's a website. So you don't need to download anything. Usually IDEs you need to download and then run on your computer. But MIT App Inventor is a website that you can create an account on, and usually it does use your Google account. So just use your personal Gmail, and that should be it to use MIT App Inventor, and you can create apps on your computer as well. Follow along what we do on the screen. And second, what code we will use. As I said, we'll use block code. So Blockly from last year, we did a little bit of it last year, and it's the same logic. So you drag and drop blocks like if statements, while loops, variables, conditionals, all of that cool stuff. And then finally, as I said, we will run the code on our phones. Now that's just one way to run our code. We can use the Wi-Fi. So that's a kind of like complicated way of running the app that we make. So your computer and your phone have to be connected to the same Wi-Fi, and then you have to download an app. We will go through this process later on, but another way is through a USB, but we will probably end up running our app next week because this is just too much trying to cram into one session and try to fit it in within our time frame. So yeah. All right. Okay, so the process. So when we do create an app, any app, there is a process. And this kind of is coding related, but it's more of a project related process where you first make a user interface. So a user interface is what you see on the screen. For example, if you look at my slide that I'm presenting, process is a text, make the user interface is a text, and then these three images are images. So that is, the user interface of that slide consists of these three things. Now, what you see under the pink text is what an example of a user interface in the MIT App Inventor app will look like. So here there is red, blue, and green. All three of these are buttons. And here's an image of a cat. And then at the bottom is also another button called wipe. So making the user interface is really easy because all you have to do is drag and drop your, I guess, components. That's what you call them. And once you do drag and drop them, the second part of the process is you have to tell the computer what it needs to do, or the app, what it needs to do when the user clicks on, suppose, the green button. So in order to do that, we will use the block code, and that is an example of that is over here. So when button green dot click, so when the user clicks the green button, we have to do the following: set drawing canvas paint color to green. So basically, if the user if the user clicks on the green button, the color of the paintbrush will turn green, and the next time the user draws on the image, it'll be green. And then if the user clicks the blue button, then it'll be blue. Red. If they click the red button, it'll be red. So here's a really high-level overview of what this whole process looks like. But the third and the final step, the most exciting step, is to run your app on your phone. And here's how you do it. You basically scan a QR code and the app will run on your phone. But I know it looks like too easy, but there's a hidden step behind this, and the hidden step is we'll have to download an app on our phones. It's created by MIT, and that's another thing that I didn't say before. MIT App Inventor is created by MIT. Some of you might know this college. It's a very prestigious university that creates a lot of open source coding stuff, and it's an Ivy League college university. If you do get into it, kudos to you, great job. But yeah, they give out a bunch of resources for a lot of stuff. So this is one of the things that they made for the public. All right, so to download the app, now this, you guys can follow through right now, or I will be posting this stuff in the Google Classroom later on, so you can download the app later on. But if you do go to the App Store, if you have an iPhone, or to the Google Play Store, let me just search it up on my phone so I can show you guys. And if you search MIT AI2 Companion App, it should look something like this. I have the Android. Is someone trying to say something?
Is this a free app?
Yeah, it is. It's free. All right, so yeah.
What is the app name again? Oh, okay.
MIT AI2 Companion. I'll put it in the chat. And let me send it to everyone. All right. Cool. So
I searched this, and is this what it should pop up? It's like,
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it should look like, and it's a pretty simple user interface of that app. If you don't open it up, there's two ways to connect with the code that you do write. You can either scan the QR code, or you can connect with a 6-character code that the IDE will provide. And that's a lot of complicated information, I know, but we'll try to repeat all of these steps over and over throughout the week. So it'll become pretty, you guys will become naturals at it as we go on. All right, so if you did get to download the app, nice. If you didn't, don't worry. I will post this information on the Google Classroom, so you can download the app anytime between today and next Tuesday, and we'll be good to go. All right, so how we will create. So again, today we'll basically explore the IDE. So how we will code, where the code is, where the components are, where our palette is, what our screen will look like. And we'll recap a little bit of block code based on how much time we have left. And finally, we'll learn about user interface. UI is the acronym of it. A lot of people use it. If your parents are in front end developing, they might use it. But yeah, that's the plan for today. And before any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go to this website. All right. No, don't, no, not see you in 2 weeks. All right, so let me go to this website. Copy, paste. All right, so I'm on appinventor.mit.edu. And I'm going to click on Create Apps. And when I do click on it, it leads me to my page already because I have a project opened up. But it'll ask you to sign up through Google. So I'm just going to sign out in front of you guys and then sign in once more. Create Apps. Click. Okay, there we go. So if I do log into, yeah, so this is what you guys will see when you click Create Apps. And I'm gonna click on the Gmail account that I want to log in with. And there we go. And just because I have the passwords, my Gmail passwords saved on my computer, I didn't have to put those in, but you guys might have to if you're working on a different device. All right, so I am now logged into my MIT App Inventor dashboard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Start New Project. Now, at this point, if you guys want to follow along, you guys are more than welcome to. But if you guys think this is like going too fast, just watch what I'm doing. And then next week, we'll try to have everyone code along or at least understand what's happening when we do create an app. All right. So start a new project. I'm going to say project name Tech Bytes Week 1. Okay.
Do we just do the same thing?
Yeah. So today we won't be creating a project. I'll just show around the IDE what each or most of these, I guess, tabs or buttons do, and then we'll start coding next time. All right. So does anyone want me to wait like a minute or 30 seconds? I'm gonna count down. 3, 2, 1. No, okay. I'm moving on. All right, so here is my palette, and here you can search for components. So as I said, components are, if I search a button is a component, and you'll see all of the components over here. So if I do want to put a button on my screen is presented right in the middle. And it's going to be an Android screen because MIT App Inventor only codes for Android. And what I do is I just click on the button or drag it on the screen and let go over here. And there we go. We just dragged the button on our screen. And we added that component. I'm using like the vocab words just so you guys start to remember it. But we dragged that component, button component, onto our screen. And that's step 1, what we saw in the process. We finished step 1, and now what I do is I click on the button over here, and right on the right-hand side, top right, there are 2 buttons, designer and blocks. Right now, I'm editing in the designer section, so I'm designing my screen, basically. That's where the word comes from. But
you kind of said like that when you do the block code only, it works for iPhone also. Is this only for Android?
So these apps, they look, you can only code them for Android because it only works for Java. You wouldn't be able to deploy these apps on the App Store, but just for testing using that app that you just installed, you can test it on an iPhone, but just for testing.
Oh, so it's only on Samsung or Android. You can download and do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the app that I just sent you guys, the MIT AI2 companion. You guys can download that on iPhones or iPads and then test whatever app we do create over here. But if you want your family member to download the app that you put on the App Store, you cannot put this app on the App Store. But you can, I think, put it on the Google Play. I will make sure before I do tell you guys. I don't know about the Google Play, but I'll tell you guys next week. Okay, back to our process. So from the 3 steps that we went over, here's the creating the user interface, at least starting the user interface. We added the button, so dragged and dropped a button over here, and put it in our user interface, our screen. The second step is adding code to it, so adding logic to it. So what happens if the user clicks on the button? And that's where the blocks come in. If I click on this blocks in the right-hand side, I get in this, I guess, IDE or a workspace where you can code with blocks. So there are, I think, 10 different categories of all the different blocks. So if you've done Scratch or Blockly before, this will be really, really familiar. And if you haven't, it's not hard to learn at all. And that's what today is about. I'll be going through these blocks and telling you guys what most of them do. So control is a bunch of conditionals, so if-else statements and loops. We'll be going over loops and all of those like specific things later on, but that's control. And then logic is just variables or operations. So if something is equal to something, or true or false, or not true, not false, all of that is logic. And then math is kind of self-explanatory. Math is all of those operations. So equal to, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and this is exponents. And then random integer from 1 to 100, that's part of math. And a bunch of hard stuff like sine, cosine, tangent. Those of you who are in high school will know, but others may not know. But we will try to go through the math section, but we might not go through all of them as what goes for all of these categories. Text is basically what it says, text. You guys can save text in these or do things to text. So trim text, so probably delete the last letter of the text, or uppercase, so convert that text into uppercase. Split text, so if I have lobd in my name, if I want to split that at the middle, I'll just split the lobd and the Jane. That's what that does. And yeah, those are the most important parts of these blocks. Now I'm going through these very high level, so if you guys don't understand anything, or if you are curious about a block, just speak up or put it in chat. Sorry, I haven't been monitoring that. Chase, I did not use this for my website because my website was actually a website, not an application. Yeah. All right, so this is text. Lists is like basically what it means. So a list of things. Sometimes we called it arrays back in Python, those of you who did come in Python, or even in like last year's JavaScript class, we called it arrays, but lists basically mean the same thing except for a couple of differences, but those are so minimal at this level that we can just call them the same thing. So we can create an empty list, make a list, add items to a list. So if I have a grocery list, suppose milk, eggs, fruit, that's our list. And then I can add items to that list, vegetables. I can see if that list is empty, pick a random item from that list. So milk, just randomly.
So that it's an array, basically, right?
Yeah, that's what I said, basically, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we can remove things from that list. So those of what Chase just said, those of you who are familiar with arrays, so a bunch of variables in, I guess, a list. A list is basically that. And then all of this stuff is higher than what we will be working with. So like CSV.
I just want to, can I say something? My classroom doesn't work.
Your
My, yeah, my Google Classroom has actually have.
Okay, why don't you stay after I finish the session? We'll be over soon, and I'll try to help you.
Wait, just a quick question. Since you have like options to convert list to CSV, could you also import like data from a spreadsheet into here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great question. Cool. But we may not be able to cover that based on what pace we are able to go. If all of us catch on really quick, then we may try to do that towards the end. But yeah.
What does the backpack do?
Backpack. Where is backpack? Okay, so backpack usually, even in Scratch, what they have is it's just a way to copy like a bunch of code, like a block of code that you made. So suppose I made, let's see, if true, then let's see. Then initialize global name to, let's put in a text, lobby. So if I want to copy this and put it in my backpack, oh, it looks like I can't put this. So suppose I just want to, let me delete this. Delete. All right. So if I wanted to copy this block of code, now everyone knows it wasn't that hard to make it, but suppose we had like 30 to 40 blocks in a block, and that logic we wanted to save, then I can just put this in a backpack, and then whenever I access my backpack, I can just paste it in here. So it's basically like a Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste. I'll just delete all of this. Was that clear?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so that was the blocks section. Now I noticed that we are running out of time. I don't want to extend this too far, but the last part of this was to, let me go back to the designer. So we had this button, and finally we wanted to connect this to our AI companion, and this is how we run or test it on our phone. Now, sometimes this does take longer based on like what your Wi-Fi connection, how good it is, and all that. But we can't test it out right now, but if it does take long, I'll just pause it and then we can move on and then try it or run it next time when we do have a project. But yeah, and then before I do run it, as I said, there are other ways to run your app, like through an emulator. An emulator is basically running it on your computer. So you're just gonna have a screen like this, what you see, and it's gonna run your app without a phone. And then finally, there's a USB option too. So you can connect your USB from your computer to your phone and then connect it through that. So let me try the AI companion. So when I did click that, this popped up. So when you go to your app, I hope you guys can see that. Let me see. Okay, so when you guys go to the app, there's two options. You can either scan a QR code, which I'm gonna try to do right now. And when I do scan that QR code, all right, this is what happened. 15, 20%. And I'm gonna wait for about 20 seconds for it to load. If it doesn't, it's probably because my Wi-Fi connection isn't that good. But usually this will run the phone on my app. And what you see over here, the screen one, I will see that on my phone. And you guys can do that from your projects as well. Something we cannot do is me running my project on my computer and then sending you or you guys taking a picture of the QR code and trying to run it, because the phone and the computer that are running the same app need to be connected to the same Wi-Fi network. So it looks like this is taking longer than we want, so I'm going to dismiss this, and that brings us to the end of today's MIT App Inventor. All right, so this was just a joke. See you in 2 weeks. No, see you next week. Today we basically covered what we will be doing in Tech Bytes in the summer program, a lot of what MIT App Inventor is and what we will be able to do, create apps, run them on our phones, and learn a lot about user interface and how to connect buttons, text fields to backend logic. And that's really cool stuff. In fact, that's the stuff that a lot of app developers use when they develop apps that we use every day, like Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, all those cool apps that we use every day. So yeah, I hope you liked this, not this video, but this session. And if you guys have any questions, I know a couple of us did have the Google Classroom questions, just stay after. And if you guys have any more questions, then you can stay after too. But that brings us to the end of week 1 of Tech Bytes. And let me go back. All right. Thank you for coming, and we will see you next week.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. And then if you guys are coming for Wednesday, see you tomorrow.
All right, I'll see you there then.
Yep. Bye.
Okay, now can you help me with the classroom?
Yep, definitely.